Hi, everyone who is joining us today for this short webinar about the United States Census 2020. I am Dania Lawson, the Government Affairs Specialist with the American Counseling Association. And today with us, we have Lee Osbury Jr., a Partnership Specialist with the United States Census 2020, who is going to share his insight on the 2020 Census and how responding is beneficial to the mental health community as well as counselors. This will be a very short but very informative webinar. So with that being said, I am going to turn it over to Lee.
Thank you so much, Dania, for allowing me this time to provide some information about the 2020 Census. I'd also like to thank the American Counseling Association for this time. So the 2020 Census is here. April 1st is Census Day, and we know April 1st is also April Fool's Day, but we say the census is not a joke. We want to make sure people are counted because it is invaluable for the community to make sure they are counted. As we move to the next slide, why do we conduct the count? Well, it is embedded in our Constitution. Every 10 years, we will count the entire population of the United States. And the reason why is because it's about fair representation. It's about apportionment. So come 2021, those 435 seats of Congress, they will use the census data from 2020 to reapportion the seats. And so to make sure that we have fair representation, that's why we want to have people counted. The second reason is because it's about the distribution of more than $675 billion annually from the federal government to the states. Again, it's about making sure the resources are in place, and the only way a given community, a given state will have their fair portion is by making sure people are counted. And last but certainly not least, it's our civic responsibility. Just like jury duty, just like voting. When it comes to the census, this is the largest peacetime mobilization of the federal government to count the population. And for the first time, you're going to be able to complete the census online. And that's what we're encouraging. If you don't want to complete it online, you can complete it over the phone. And if you don't want to do it that way, you'll be able to do the paper copy still, but realize the paper copy will not come out until the fourth mailing. In this case, the fourth mailing is going to start basically next week on the 8th of April there. As we move to the next slide, how is census data used? So anywhere you go outside, I mean, when we're talking about roads, we're talking about transportation, decision-making at all levels for the federal government, for local, state, and federal government. When we're talking about programs and resources such as SNAP, WIC, housing, schools, Head Start, school lunch, and especially for this community, healthcare. Again, it's about resources, analyzing local trends, planning health and educational services for those with disabilities, planning future government services. All of these things are ways that the census data is used. As we move to the next slide, as I said, the census is live now. So if you have not completed your census, we're encouraging people to go out, complete their census now. Now, you will, unlike Election Day, you will have a few months that you'll be able to complete the census. So even though tomorrow, April 1st is Census Day, you can still respond online. It will be based on information as of April 1st and prior to. And if you haven't responded online yet, like I said, that paper copy will be coming next week. But there is assistance available 7 days a week. My2020census.gov is where you complete the survey. It's in 13 different languages, as well as TDD. If you look on the right-hand column there, there's all the different numbers in language that you can call and get assistance. And realize that on YouTube, we have a video walkthrough that will take you start to finish exactly what it looks like to take part in the 2020 Census online. As we move to the next slide, confidentiality. So safety and security are our top priority. When it comes to the Census Bureau, everyone that works for the census, we swear an oath, and that oath is for life. So under Title 13, we cannot release any information that identifies you, your organization, your business, or institution, because it is protected by law that has been tested at the Supreme Court multiple times. This information is lock and key. When it comes to a violation of that oath, release of any data, that is up to 5 years in prison and up to a $250,000 fine. And what I tell people is that I'm not going to jail, especially for releasing no information. And $250,000 fines is better used, second mortgage, other things like that. So we don't mess around. We're stewards of everyone's information, and we take that with the utmost seriousness. As we move to the next slide, now we're in a digital age. We understand that there's always concerns about frauds and scams. So we want everyone to know that everyone works for the Census Bureau. We have a valid ID badge. It will have an expiration date. It will also have the U.S. Department of Commerce watermark. If you do not see those things, hey, that person is suspect. So what we recommend is contact 800-923-8282. You can speak with the local Census Bureau representative to verify this person showed up to my house, or this person contacted me, or email, anything like that. I want to know if they work for the Census Bureau, and they will tell you yay or nay whether they are affiliated with the Census Bureau. That being said, we will never ask for your full Social Security number, money or donations, anything on behalf of any political party, because the Census Bureau, we're apolitical, nonpartisan. We don't mess around with that. And when it comes to full bank or credit card information, we won't ask for that information. You see those are red flags, and we recommend that you contact your local law enforcement because they are not part of the Census Bureau. As we move to the next slide, we encourage everyone to stay connected with us. www.2020census.gov, that is our primary page. But realize, again, we're in a digital age, so we're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and even Pinterest, as you'll find information. You can sign up for alerts that will give you daily updates on things that are as they occur with the census. As we move to the last slide, that is my contact information. Like I said, Lee Osbury, Partnership Specialist. I'm stationed here in Maryland, but realize all across the United States and the 5 territories, we do have partnership specialists all across the nation. So people can feel free to reach out to me at any time via phone call, email, and we will make sure that you get in touch with the right people. So again, I want to thank you, and can definitely open to answer any questions for you.
Thanks, Lee. So we understand the importance of filling out and completing our census this year, but can you speak a little bit more about how completing the census will impact the mental health community and affect counselors or the counseling profession?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that question. So when it comes to, in particular for mental health and how we use census data, so remember, our biggest thing with census data, this is about resources. It's making sure that we have the resources in place. So that's with those elected officials and community leaders. We want to make sure that the healthcare professionals are in place. So mental health counselors, they play a critical role in helping people, that are experiencing emotional problems and different issues, and they help with diagnosing and treating people that struggle with mental health issues. So common ones like anxiety, depression, stress, eating disorders, all those different things. Guess what? That is common in a given community, and so that's where, when it comes to analyzing those local trends, how is the local community changing? Are they getting younger, getting older? I'm a retired Air Force. When it comes to the military, you have a different mission. All these different concerns, opioid addiction, all these different things. It's important for us to know what we have as far as the snapshot of America. So that's how it, kind of directly ties in. So it's the healthcare community, and it's a part of making sure that the resources are there. And I can tell you right now, for mental health counseling, as a former supervisor, in the military and working with people and helping out people, trust me, they are like one of the most valuable resources to have in any community.
Great. Um, that's awesome. One other question that I have is the census. Does it only take 10 minutes? Is it a little bit longer? Is it shorter?
Yeah, so when it comes to completing the census, we tell people it should take about 10 minutes or so. So realize that if you complete it online or over the phone, or even if you wait on the paper copy, it's a little bit longer the more people that you have, because you have to have information for everyone that lives in a household, because we count everyone. It's not just family members. In different situations, you may have roommate, family member, what have you, living with you, tenant. Everyone for that household counts. So when it comes to about how long it takes, we say roughly 10 minutes. There's only 9 questions for your basic census, but as you have more people that live in a household, you'll have to add a little bit more information, but it should not take very long. Again, we're committed to making sure the census is easy, quick, and safe, in making sure people are counted.
Awesome. Well, again, Lee, I want to thank you. Again, Lee Osbury is the partnership specialist with the United States Census. Thanks to him for sharing his insights on the 2020 census. I am Dania Lawson, Government Affairs Specialist for the American Counseling Association, reminding you that counselors matter, and so does your response to the census. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.